Hello everybody, I'm Karen Jane Casey, and this is Moments with Carin. You might be wondering, what is this podcast about and who is it for? Well, it's in this podcast that I share moments like the present or the past that I've experienced in my life or that I've learned about, always to give you helpful information, entertain you, and to encourage you in some way. Each episode is put together with the idea that we all want to gain insights along our journey and to increase the joy in our lives. This message on these episodes is for each and every one of us, regardless of how good we feel that our life is right now or how deep and dark our troubles may be. We might be a devout believer in the Lord, or we might be someone who questions everything. During this 15-minute episode, please be assured that I am not going to be lecturing down at you. I will not be yelling and preaching at you. Rather, I'm sharing what I've learned and what I'm still learning in my journey. We learn together, and I encourage you to share what you've learned. Your testimony, your personal testimony, is something that someone else needs to hear. They will resonate with what you have to say. Today's episode topic is social media drives me crazy. So does social media drive you crazy too, or is it just me? I don't know it for certain, but I suspect that social media might be a tad harder for us folks who have retired or of a retirement age than those that might be younger than us. Especially, it appears that kids still in school were born with an innate ability toward technology of any kind, including the social media. Well, at first, I was tempted to name this episode the social media epidemic because it certainly has spread rapidly and it affects a large number of people within a relatively short period of time. But then it's not actually an infectious disease. Although some of the changes in everyone's lives because of social media are not all such positive ones, but for the most part, we can't imagine going without it now, can we? So what is social media? The internet definition says that social media involves websites and applications to enable the users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. Well, I can continue to struggle in many areas of social media as I try to give and to receive personal information and when I'm striving to present or represent my small business in today's world. Whether it's for personal use or for a business, people are sharing constantly, posting photos, videos, advertising. They create, they share, repeat, create, share, repeat, and the sheer volume can bring us to distraction and to stress. What do people share about? Everything, anything. It might be about the kids, or about travel, pets, our problems, our happy moments, information that we want others to know about, businesses, other people's stuff, advertising, and the load can be overwhelming. What bothers me about it is that while we're busy working the social media, even if it's simply taking pictures and sending them, we're not really enjoying where we are at the present moment. And we're not communicating with people in an actual one-on-one, face-to-face, not FaceTime, but real face-to-face. Generally, the art of spending quality time with each other has seemed to become rather old-fashioned. Sometimes, while my husband is out of town, I like to take myself out to dinner and a movie. And while I'm at dinner, I enjoy watching other people, how they interact at their tables. It's fun. Well, recently, I took myself out to a nice dinner at a restaurant, and I paid attention to how the people were communicating with each other. People often sat at the same table while they were working with their cell phone. They were each on their cell phones instead of talking with each other. There were couples who did that too. For some, the most of the time they spent communicating happened to be in that short discussion when the waitress comes over and you look at your menu and decide what you want to eat. There was usually a little discussion there on who's getting what. Sometimes I would observe young adults or teenagers snap a shot of themselves together, interacting for just that moment, and then they would return to the cell phone to share that picture of that moment with everybody. Well, that's kind of sad, isn't it? We can contact thousands and thousands of friends from our cell phones, but only a small fraction of them are people that we have actually met. We're calling folks who are our acquaintances via social media as our friends. It was through social media that I found out about the death of a friend in church. It was through social media that I learned the details of one of my family members' marriage. It was through social media that I was able to keep track of a relative's ongoing illness. That tells me I had better keep up with social media if I hope to be in the know and to be up to date about things that are important to me. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Oh my. That pretty much sums up what I'm familiar with. Of course, emails came about long before all this. I think the first email was in the 1970s. Cell or mobile phones go back even further to the 1940s and up, and it was quite a revolution in the 2000s when the smartphones came out, giving us a functionality of the mobile phone along with the internet access and capabilities. The iPhone, that began in 2007, and it went worldwide by 2012. Emails and cell phones have become necessities, not a luxury, but a necessity, something we need. They play a tremendous part in our electronic communications with the world, enabling us to access and use social media in our daily lives. Not just occasionally, but every day. I found a few facts from the internet, Wikipedia, about some of the most prominent social media networks that I'm familiar with, and I thought that you might be interested in what I found too. Facebook. It is by far the largest, and it began in February of 2004. That's not really all that long ago, a little more than a decade. And it was a platform for the Harvard students community. But now, of course, it's the most influential network in the world. How are you doing on Facebook? How many friends do you have? Is any of the information that you receive entertaining, helpful, educational, something that you're glad that you received? It's nice that you can always pick and choose what you want to look at. YouTube. That began in February 2005 by 3 former PayPal employees, and then it was bought by Google in 2006. Well, I love YouTube. How about you? I love being able to select what I want to watch, and especially in the music world. I go nuts over the song Ain't No Grave Gonna Hold Me Down by Bethel. I even enjoy running my own podcast on YouTube. Twitter. That was created in March of 2006. So you're seeing a pattern here. They're all around the same time frame. It was launched in July of 2006. In 2012, more than 100 million users were posting 340 million tweets a day. And as we've all learned from other folks' mistakes or what they've done, whatever you put on Twitter, it's out there for all to see, and maybe forever. Instagram. It's an American photo and video sharing social networking service owned by Facebook. It was created and launched in October of 2010, and I have just begun using Instagram this past year. and I'm still getting the hang of it, but I really enjoy it. LinkedIn. That's an American business and employment-oriented service that operates through websites and mobile apps. I was surprised to find out that it is actually the oldest of all social media, founded in December of 2002, and it was launched in May of 2003. It remains mainly for professional networking, and I have a page on LinkedIn, but I'm not very active with it. That's something I need to learn more about. Although our way of communicating with each other has caused drastic changes, there are advantages to it too, especially for those who may not have the mobility to get out and about to see people in real time. People who are isolated or remain alone for whatever reason, much of their time can be spent on social media to meet their needs for communicating with other people in a meaningful way. And when emergencies come, they can use that social media as a valuable resource for getting help in times of need, bringing us a sense of security. Research findings suggest that continual use of social media can ignite our brain activity, and that results in improving our memory. Social media demands our ability to roll with the changes. We have to be able to be willing and able to change, especially in the way that we communicate. Although there may be disadvantages and drawbacks, social media is here to stay. We can decide if we're going to accept it, learn more about it, and jump right in with it and enjoy it. And that's what we should be doing. We want to join the rest of the world and see what's happening. Well, I hope that this episode has been helpful, encouraging, and entertaining. Please let me know how this episode has affected you. I love feedback. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode on Moments with Carin. This is Carin Jane Casey, author, speaker, domestic violence advocate, and ambassador for Christ. Moments with Carin is available every Wednesday morning at 7, where we explore our past and present moments to find entertainment, lessons, encouragement, and joy in our life. I have 2 faith-based podcasts also available on stormtalk365radio.com. They are Turn to God with Carin, which is every Monday morning at 6:30, Abundant Living with Carin, which is every Tuesday morning at 7. The platforms are all on Spreaker.com. And you can simply Google the podcast by name, and then you will see the episodes listed, and just simply click on which one you want to listen to. We're available on iTunes, Twitter, and Alexa on Amazon, hosted by iHeartRadio and Spotify. And then there's more sites growing regularly. You can also go to Carin Jane Casey on YouTube if you want to watch this podcast and other videos. And if you go there, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My website is CarinJaneCasey.com. CarinJaneCasey. I would love for you to contact me through my website and give me suggestions, any kind of feedback you may have. It's also on my website that you will find out more about the books I've written. My Dear Rosa Jean. It is my first novel, suspenseful, dramatic, and also about overcoming challenges in life and healing. Mystery at Candace Bay. That's a real page turner, and it also is entertaining and encouraging. Granny Babysits the Mischievous 5. That is a fun children's chapter book. Fun for kids and for grown-ups. My books are all available at Amazon.com, Kindle, and Barnes & Noble Nook. Well, thank you and have a blessed week.